So today I'm going to be trying out the Major Brushes watercolour set, but this is the premium set. This has got only 12 colours, but I've got a couple of magnets on here, so I'll just keep that steady. So the premium set has only got 12 colours, whereas last time I did the 36 colours. But being a premium set, they should be stronger, you would imagine. So although the last set here, these look quite, the finish looks quite chalky on here, but you can get a painting out of them, but they do look a bit chalky on here compared with. So these are the Cotman ones. As you can see, they're a pretty solid colour and they don't really look chalky, apart from this cerulean. That one does look chalky, the rest don't look quite solid. Whereas the last time I did these, so if you compare that to that, there's a big difference on the swatching, but you can still get a picture out of them, and I did that with these. So these being the premium ones, you would imagine should, I'm hoping and expecting to come out better than that. So anyway, so I've got the 11 colours, which is going to take me down to here. Then I'm going to do a mixture of greens, or see what the mixture anyway looks like between black and French ultramarine and Prussian blue with a couple of various yellows. And I'll do a couple of oranges by mixing the crimson and the vermilion. So that's the plan. So hopefully I've got a bit more used to these from when I did the last ones anyway, because they were, I've got that round the wrong way, haven't I? I want to go around that way. Yeah, so I spritzed them last time, which I didn't really need to do. So I'll put the colours maybe there. Right, so the first one's going to be Gambo's Hue. Let's put it in there, shall we? Put it in the mixer upper. I feel quite hard, these blocks. We don't seem to get any paint off of them. Oh, there could be for years trying to get a bit of yellow on there. Maybe I need a bit more of a harder brush than this. Let's shut that on there. Well, I can see there's a lot of water in there, like there was last time, but the coverage, I mean, that looks much stronger than before. And what colour would I say that was? It doesn't look orange enough to me to be a Gamboge Hue. But I presume it's the same colour as New Gamboge. And I don't think I'm going to use this brush. This brush I think it's a bit too soft for mixing up. It's a lovely point and it's nice for detail, but I don't think it's the right brush for that. So I'm going to use this 1/2 inch flat brush. It's quite soft, but I think it'll have a bit more welly to it. Right, yellow ochre. That feels better already. Although there's really hardly any paint on it. It doesn't look very strong. but on there it looks pretty nice. Although these is taking a bit of time to get the paint off of the block onto here to mix up, and then I mean I could just go on there and just chuck it straight on, but when you do get the paint off of it, which seems to take a bit of hard work to get it off of it, the actual depth of colour actually seems quite good. It's just a lot of hard work to get it off in the first place. One thing with these blocks, they certainly do seem to keep it very, very clean, unlike if you've got tubes and stuff. Leaf green, what does that look like? That's a nice colour, isn't it? Beautiful colour. Now this doesn't seem to be sitting on top of the paper like the bigger set, the 36 block I tried previously. That just seemed to, they just seem to sit on the top, and you can see where there's like lots of holes, and I left a bit more pigment on here, I remember, and they're all sort of blotchy, most of them, whereas I don't think I'm going to get that on here. So quality wise, I would say they are way, way better to start with. And I think these are about, for these 12, I'm pretty sure about the same price as the 36 set of their standard set. So rather than having 36 colours, you're only going to get 12, but already I can see these are much, 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 much better. Much, much better. That's even sinking into the paper as it should do. So have a little what we got next? Blue, which one? Right, so this is French ultramarine blue rather than ultramarine blue. Now usually when people call it French ultramarine, that's always saying this is the dear one. We're just going to leave these in a pan because I'm going to mix a couple of these up afterwards together, or at some point anyway. Yeah, I'm actually quite liking these. So the next one's Prussian blue. Now I don't actually own Prussian blue. I've only ever seen Prussian blue myself in, I've got some oil paints, but not that I use them. But I noticed the Prussian blue is a lovely colour. It's very much like indigo, isn't it? It looks very much like indigo to me. Well, that'll do, I think. Lovely colour. Probably not as dark as indigo. Now, so when I'm putting this down, to get enough pigment onto there, it then doesn't seem like it's enough, but when it goes on a page, it's still a bit too watery. Vermilion is like an orangey brown. So what's vermilion like? But it's another colour I don't normally use. Now I use I've got Windsor red. No, sorry, Windsor orange. And this looks more like Windsor orange, but in a little bit of a, this bit that I've mixed up here looks a different colour to that. That looks orangey red. That looks burnt sienna-y red. What's it look like on here? Well, actually, I'll tell you what, that looks more like maybe a light red or Indian red, a weak Indian red, or yeah, maybe light red. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with these. These are. It's amazing. It doesn't look like there's hardly anything there, but when you go to paint it, there's loads on it. Crimson. Now, obviously, most of these will say alizarin crimson, but this just says crimson. Oh, I can see that's going to be a beautiful colour, that. Beautiful colour. Oh, very... a bit more pink than I was expecting it to be. Very nice. Burnt sienna. Now you notice with this there's burnt sienna, but there's no burnt umber. There's only burnt sienna. Well, I could definitely paint with these. Definitely. I don't know if I said definitely or not. I think you just have to persevere and spend a bit more time and mix yourself some colours up, and then start the painting maybe. Right, burnt sienna then. I'm going to tap that on there just to take excess water off, I think. Maybe that would be an idea. Now when I did it on the cheaper set, it looked very copper colour. There's a lovely spread in the whole I was going to say thumbnail. Do you know, when you do these videos your mind goes totally blank. These little swatches. So you quite often, I mean, I've not tried to fade them or anything, just do them as they are, but they are coming out so much better than the cheaper ones. Just, you know, these still do need livening up with a spritz, but I tried that on the other ones and they wouldn't have it. It was just terrible. But these, I think maybe you should spritz them. I think that's probably all you need for this. There don't seem to be a lot of pigment on that. Am I on the right one? Yeah. There doesn't seem to be much pigment on there compared with the others. I will say this is quite a weak colour, this Van brown. There doesn't seem to be anywhere near the same amount of pigment on there. Maybe I had it too watery, but I've done them all pretty much the same really. I think this one is just I think that's just a poor colour, that. Right, so black. It's much better with this brush as well. This brush has got more. It's a little bit firmer than the round one I had before, which is one of their synthetic sables. Now, am I going to like this black as much as I liked it on the other ones? This seems a more natural black than the other one. The other one seemed to be like crushed coal or like a lamp black, whereas this is not so, maybe because the other one looked a bit chalky, I don't know, but it was quite powerful. This seems a cleaner black if you get my drift. Right, so I've got gamboge, 3 gamboges. Right, so the first one I'm going to do is black and gamboge. So a bit of black there, and go in that, we can nick a bit of that over there maybe. No, we can't. Let's get a bit of gamboge off of here then. I'm sure you can walk that off after. Right, this should give us quite a earthy, dull, distant green. Yeah, that looks alright. French ultramarine was that one, so I want a bit more of this. Bit more of this into that. I was going to be interested to see how they, when they're mixed, rather than using a single colour. You can't keep going over it, you go over it too much. Right, so the other, we got a Prussian, which was that, and gamboge. That was a bright green. Prussian and gamboge as well. What a difference in green colour that is to the ultramarine. So it shows you with the greens, it's the blue that you're using is just as important as the yellow that you're using. That's going to be the brightest green we get, I'm pretty sure. Right, so this leaf green, I leaf green with black, so that's leaf green there. So a touch of black, but probably not a lot. Couple of dabs maybe. That's already too much. That feels quite watery. That's not actually a very good mix I've done there. I need to be a bit more. Just a little touch. So I was expecting quite a dark green out of that. We should have done it quite down really. Right, so that one is ochre, isn't it? So ochre wants to be with ultramarine and Prussian. I'm not going to be able to do that, am I? Let's just put that into that. So that's ultramarine and ochre. Doesn't even look green, does it? A very grey looking colour. Yeah, black and ochre. Obviously you're going to need a lot of the lighter colour. Ochre, couple of bits of black. Might still be too much. Indeed it is. No, it's too much ochre. Not easy to get the balance here. That's why we're going black or ochre. That looks like a sand colour. I think I'm just going to go with that. That could be some sort of sand, that. You could imagine that being in a bunker or sand dunes or something like that, maybe. Tree sort of colour, perhaps. Well, I think I'm going to give this a quick wipe off. Right, so we've got Prussian and ochre. It's better now these have been awake a little bit. I think I probably should have given them a bit of a spritz, you know. So Prussian is going to be the brighter blue. That could be like a turquoisey sea maybe. Or a bit more ochre. So it goes from that sea to a various shades of green. So that wouldn't be a bad mix at all. I mean, they're mixing alright. They're still giving a nice solid colour everywhere. They've also put a touch more ochre into that. That'll just take you to I've wished to put a bit more Prussian into it. It gives you a bit more of that shallow water, sea type water. Right, so a couple of oranges. So we're going to have gambos with both. Yeah, now these have been awake a while, this is much better. Right, so I want a bit of, what one's the first one? Vermilion's this one, the orangey one, isn't it? Is that going to be too much? I want to put a bit in at a time. Totally killed that. That's totally killed the gamboge. I want sort of a bit of an orange out of it. That looks a bit orangey. This was, that was the vermilion, wasn't it? So it goes here. Now it doesn't look very strong on the paper, but single pigments, like any single colour, is always going to be stronger anyway. And then we're going to do crimson and gamboge. So I'm just going to take a bit more so I can clean that block off a bit. While I'm there, I'm going to clean that off. I'm not going to use that, but I just want to clean that off. I like clean palettes if I can. Right, so the crimson, I presume we're not going to need much of that. That looks more like pink. Getting the colour seems to take longer with these blocks, but you can get nice colours. That's just totally overpowering that immediately. It doesn't really like mixing. The mixing, I'd say, is not much of a winner. Single pigment's lovely, but mixing seems to be quite hard work. The little lid thing seems to be quite a nice size. Right, let's chuck him in here. How much difference is that to the one below? Well, all in all, I think I'll stop there and I'll wait till this is dried out and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like when it's dried. So these have now dry. So impressions of these are, they're a much better quality of paint than these were. These look pretty shoddy looking back. As I said before, you can still do a picture of them, no problem at all. But on here you can just see the difference in the quality of the paint on the swatches from that to that. Now of these, the black was nice. These took a lot of work to get anything on. They look alright there, but to get the colour on was quite difficult. But that was the first time I used a block, so I mean some of it might have been me, I'm not really sure. But I got used to it at this point and they still look quite blotchy. And this set were about £6 odd, £6.50ish for 36, whereas these are £4 something for only 12, which for a budget set of watercolour paints, I'm pretty convinced you could make quite a nice painting out of these. Quite nice, and when I've mixed them together, they're still mixed nicely. They're not all, you know, congealed, or even when I've mixed them together, they're still a nice, lovely, solid colour. They're so much better than those. They're more similar to, say, a Winsor Newton Cotman one, where they're quite solid all the way through. Cerulean wasn't nice. I've never liked cerulean. I just don't like cerulean. But this Windsor orange, that's what I was thinking about. The vermilion was similar to that one. It is quite similar to that, so vermilion is like that. But I would say, given the choice, I would much rather have these than the bigger set and mix my own colours. And it's a good thing for you to learn to mix colours anyway. And it was a lot better with this flat brush for mixing these, because this is an old brush really that I was using for acrylics more than watercolour. But because that's about the same size as these blocks, rather than what I started using was this pointing one, I think I'll end up damaging the brush by mixing it, and I obviously don't want to do that. So these, I did see on their catalogue, they sold some white, the imitation sable, and they did them in 1/4 1/2 inch, 3/4 and an 1/8, I think. I mean, the only flat brushes I've got, I mean, I've got this one, but it's quite firm really. I've got a 3/4 which is nice and an inch which is nice, but I haven't got like an 1/2 inch. No, I've got the inch is good. So the 1/2 inch free. Anyway, the flat what I'm getting at is the white ones they do, which have got the same material as these. These seem really nice. So they do flat ones. So I probably will buy some of them on their white sable, imitation sable, and I think they'll complement these brush set brilliant, especially the 1/2 inch one for taking your paint off and putting them down. So all in all, I think these definitely recommended, and they're only £4 odd, which, you know, most watercolour sets you get for about 12. I think the Cotman ones I had were, what were these? I've added a few colours to this. This was the Cotman ones I had originally. I've added a few extras here. This was all part of it, nor was that all that. So there was about 12 colours there, and they were about £15. So triple the price of these. But I don't think the Cotman are any better than these. I think these are as good as the Cotman. So anyway, recommendation, yeah, definitely go for these if you want to get some a cheap budget set of watercolour. Anyway, I hope that's helpful. See you on another one soon. Cheers.